What's up, guys? Welcome to the first episode of Withers Outdoor TV. Today I'm going to go over my top 5 pond fishing baits, from colors, anything, how I rig them, to the line I use and all that. First off, whenever I come up to a pond, I'm always going to throw a reaction bait inside of it. Typically, I will throw a frog. This is a KVD Sexy Frog. I like to keep my frogs simple. Browns, greens, nothing crazy, no orange and green frogs. I like to keep it natural, match the hatch. With a frog, I'm going to tie a polymer knot onto 50-pound spider wire braid to a bait caster. Not a big fan of throwing frogs on spinning reels. I'm not a big fan of spinning reels. I love a bait caster. If I don't have a frog, there's always a second option of a Gambler Big Easy swim bait. Gambler Big Easies are by far, I think, the best swim bait out on the market right now. They have a broke back action with a ginormous tail that just gives it all kinds of crazy action. These I'll rig on a 5/0 wide gap Berkley hook with a pinch weight with the screw top, and I'll screw it into the bait and just stick the hook inside just like that. Game over. After I throw a reaction style bait, I will knock it down and I'll go to a more finesse presentation. Typically in ponds, don't really throw a whole lot of Texas rigs with big 12-inch worms. Not a big fan of the whole big 12-inch worms. I like to keep it simple. Watermelon red Senko. Senkos, you can't go wrong. They've been out forever. Catch fish without a doubt. My favorite colors by far: black Senko, keep it natural, match the hatch, or watermelon red. With these, I'll throw on 10-pound test spider wire mono to a 6.5-foot medium action rod. With these, I take a weedless circle hook with the weedless rig on it, and I will stick it right in the middle like so. Pinch the weed guard down. And the good thing about a wacky rig, because everybody throws Senkos the normal way, a fish, if it's a heavily fished pond, you throw a wacky rig Senko in front of a fish, he is going to eat it 9 times out of 10, because it's something new. And if you think about it, whenever you drop it, just look at the action on that. It's a lot. It gives you the circle hook. It gives you a better hookup ratio, because you just really don't have to set the hook and worry about ripping it out of the fish's mouth. I'm not a big fan on rigging them regularly, so that's why I switched to the circle hook and got a better presentation and got better hookup ratio. Now, after Senko, if I'm getting more of the reaction style bite, I will typically, after a frog or a swim bait, I'll go to a submerging lure like I have here. I have a lipless crankbait. This is the Bass Pro Shop XPS in shad color, keeping it natural, matching the hatch. And whenever I buy lipless crankbaits, I always get something that's loud. It imitates a wounded bait fish. You got to go loud. With lipless crankbaits, I like to fish them around anywhere where there's structure, a lot of grass, because you can rip them through the grass and not have to worry about getting all tangled up like you do with your square bill crankbaits, anything like that. And they're just a lot noisier. I love fishing lipless crankbaits. I'm not a whole big fan on throwing them with braid. I have noticed that whenever you throw them with braid, whenever your bait's flying through the air, the braid gets tangled around the hooks, and nobody wants to deal with that while they're fishing. So these, my reaction style baits underneath the water, I will throw on 14-pound mono to 17-pound mono up to a medium heavy rod. Now, if you don't have a lipless crankbait, you can always go with KVD Sexy Shad 2.5 square bill crankbait. These I like to fish not as much as the lipless crankbaits, but I will fish them if there is a whole lot of structure, like rocks, any sunken trees, anything, because that square lip will just dig and bump into it, and then you can just pull it right out of it. These, I like to keep it simple, just like with these. Anything, just match the hatch, anything like that. These, they're not as loud, so anything with rattles in it, any kind of moving bait underneath the water with rattles, any kind of suspending jerk baits, anything like that, you gotta throw them. Because 9 times out of 10, a fish is going to bite a bait with a lot louder profile, than a soft bait. Now, whenever I typically go pond hopping, I like to work around the bank. I like to investigate and see what I got going on. If I see a whole lot of stuff on top of the water, I'm gonna fish a frog or a swim bait, like so. Anything, if it's a really clean pond, I'm going to knock down the size of line I'm using, keeping it small, keeping that profile a little bit smaller. That way it's not scaring the fish, because we all know whenever the water's clean, fish are going to be a lot more finicky. So, like Senkos, instead of throwing a giant Senko, maybe I'll knock it down to a 4 or 5 inch Senko, but keeping it natural. In clean water, guys, you have to keep it natural. I cannot stress to you guys enough about, you don't have to throw crazy colors to catch crazy big fish. My personal best bass was 9 pounds on a black Senko. You don't have to throw crazy colors. Just keep it normal. Just a black Senko, watermelon red, match the hatch. Especially in clean water, you don't need to throw like purples and crazy lime greens and yellows. You just keep it simple. Now, in dirty water, you want to have a dirtier presentation. Typically, I will throw either a black Senko, watermelon red, or a purple, because whenever the sunlight hits the purple, it just shines up. Alright, I think that's going to come to the conclusion of my first video. I hope y'all enjoy it. This was filmed on my computer because I don't have my GoPros yet. So I'm going to upload it, hit the like button, comment, tell me what y'all would like next. Keep fishing.